Jake Varner introduced in the red singlet.
And in the blue corner, representing the New York Athletic Club, he was a 2008 Olympian, Andy Robat.
And in the blue singlet, a 2008 Olympian, Andy with the silent H, Robat. 96 kilos, Jake Varner, Sunkissed Kids, red singlet, Andy Robat, New York Athletic Club. Blue singlet. Robat from Ann Arbor, Michigan, wrestling for the New York Athletic Club. Was a member, as I said, of the 2008 U.S. Olympic team. Second in the Nationals in 2008. Silver medalist in the Pan Am Games in 2007. His opponent, Jake Varner, Bakersfield, California. Wrestled at Iowa State. Third in the Olympic team trials a year ago. Seventh in the U.S. National Championships in Las Vegas. But he was an NCAA champion this year for Iowa State. One of the two Jakes that move on from the NCAA championships to win a freestyle championship, the other being Jake Herbert. Under 1 minute now with no score between Varner and Robat. This is the only mat in progress right now. Once we're done this bout, it'll be the second matchup in this best-of-3 series in the same order in which we saw the first. Beginning with women's 51 kilos. Down to 15 seconds, no score now between Robat and Varner. Varner in the red, Robat in the blue. Each wrestler very capable, very explosive, very strong, I might add. But his time expires with no points on the board. And that means we're going to go to the bag and draw the ball. Red, it's Varner. Blue, it's Robat. And the ball comes out blue. So Andy Robat wins the draw and will get the single leg clinch on Jake Varner. He wants the right leg of Varner. Varner's got to let him get it. So Robat gets warned about a start, and then he gets in on the leg on the second attempt. Work towards the out of bounds, and they head out of bounds. And stepping out of bounds goes Varner, so Robat picks up the point. It was close. It was close as they both went towards the out of bounds area at the same time. But it was clearly Varner who went out first, which means Robat gets the point. And he wins that first period, 1-0 off the single leg clinch does Andy Robat. Andy Robat, two-time All-American from the University of Michigan, was a two-time Ohio State high school champion at St. Edward's High School. He's wrestled all over the world. But he wants to stake his claim as a world champion. But first, he's got to win the right to earn the opportunity to represent the United States. Jake Varner has anything to say about it. It's not going to happen. Varner, two-time California State high school champion. Again, from Bakersfield, California. Robat, the winner of the first period as a result of the clinch. Varner in on the attack. They head out of bounds. A quick turn by Robat. But it was not enough as Varner picks up 3 points on the turn of Andy Robat. As they went to the out-of-bounds area, Jake Varner, with 1:08 left in this, the second period, got a huge three-point move against Andy Rovat. And pulling alongside of me right now is Jason Bryant from Wrestling 411, who's been working on the other webcast. And Jason will share the duties now for the remainder of the night.
Well, Cher, it's been a long, long day of talking for you and I both. I've been looking over at your mat saying, Van, you've got it easy with the freestyle over here. I've had to go with clinches and rules and all sorts of things to explain, but we're here in freestyle. Andy Rovat in the blue and Jake Varner from Iowa State in the red.
Do you know how many single leg clinches we've had over here? How many times we've had to draw out of the bag? Lots. You can talk about Greco, but I'm telling you, that bag has played an important role in determining who's going forward from here.
Well, I'd like to see the bag play less of a role, honestly, Van. They did change the rules in Greco to affect the coin tosses and the amount of grabs, but I guess they assume in freestyle there should be more action because you can use the other half of the body.
Should be, as you just said, Greco-Roman, waist up, can't use the legs in any offensive or defensive manner, as Varner right now holds on to a 3-0 lead, down to 5 seconds remaining in this, the second period. Varner holds on to win. This period will be tied up at 1 period apiece. As time expires, that's exactly what happens. As Jake Varner wins the second period, 3-0. Rovat, winner of the first period, 1-0 off the single leg clinch, means we're going to the third and final period.
And Rovat was challenged in the challenge tournament final by J.D. Bergman. You know, that was the old Ohio State-Michigan battle with we all know with the big house and whatnot. But here with Varner, you've got Iowa State and a Michigan alum. And interestingly enough, Van, I'm sure you've probably said something this already, Cale Sanderson and Kevin Jackson both in the same corner.
Good catch. I have not called attention to that. Sean Bormet in the other corner. Sean Bormet, USA Wrestling Coach of the Year, but you got Jackson, Kevin Jackson, and Cale Sanderson. You can't ask for much more in your corner, can you?
Well, that, and you had one coach, the old coach at Iowa State, and the new coach at Iowa State.
There you go.
And the new coach at Penn State, 1 point push out for Varner there.
There you go, as Rovat steps out of bounds. Pushed out, I guess I should say, and Jake Varner picks up the 1 point as Rovat goes out. And so he leads 1-0 here in this, the third period, as Rovat gets a little bit of medical attention right now.
Don't know if he got a scrape there, Van, or not, but he's definitely got his hanky out, trying to wipe up some of the blood. But been an entertaining bout so far. The fans are definitely into it, which is another reason I think Council Bluffs in this venue was a great choice. People might scratch their head and say, Council Bluffs, well, Iowa's wrestling country, and you got a Cyclone on the mat right now. He might be from California, but you got a Cyclone on the mat right now, and you got two Paulson twins wrestling in this tournament.
I really think once we get to this level that, you know what, those from Iowa, those from this part of the country, those from the heartland, they pull together, and you can forget the Iowa State and Iowa matchups because this is for the country. And you know what? I hate to say it. It sounds corny, but country comes first.
Oh, is it corny? Is that a play on the farmland out here, Van?
Absolutely not.
Something smells fishy.
We're back underway. 1:36 remaining. Varner with a 1 point lead right now. Rovat, medical attention taken care of. As the pulse quickens here, we're tied at 1 period apiece. Rovat, winner of the first period. Varner, the winner of the second period.
Interesting to see how Andy moves up a weight. He was the Olympian at 185 last year with the upset of Mo Lawal at the 2008 Olympic team trials. Now moves up here to 211. And Varner had been very successful moving up from 184 to 197 in the college season. Has parlayed that into a very successful international season already.
That he has. 1 minute. And you know what? This is another good step if he can hang on to this with a 1 point lead, under 1 minute to go in the third period.
Well, Varner was a nasty freestyle in high school. Good to see him getting back on the senior level. And, you know, with the new award program that Living the Dream USA Wrestling has announced now, you can see maybe some more wrestlers eyeing a world and Olympic medals as a way to say, hey, I can make some money in this sport.
You know what? You win an Olympic gold medal in wrestling in London in 2012, you've won $250,000.
And Henry Cejudo, as they were making that announcement, Henry Cejudo's ears perked up real big.
Yeah.
He's like, is that retroactive?
He might have to come off the Pina Colada tour. No score, 20 seconds remaining. 1-0. Varner, I should say, but they have not scored since. Under 15 seconds to go. Rovat unable to get an attack here in this, the third period. On the backside of a 1-0 lead right now by Jake Varner.
Still time. Be careful there on the edge. Must Varner, because you can back out of bounds, you lose it, but it's going to be good enough for Jake Varner.
Time ticks away for Andy Rovat, and Jake Varner holds on to a 1-0 lead. Then this, the third and final deciding period. He won the second period, now wins the third period, and wins this first matchup against Andy Rovat. But you know what? As narrow as that was, the second time they come around, it could shift. You never know.
Well, Andy's a very dangerous guy. He's got all sorts of weird junk that to throw out there. And, you know, from all these weird positions, and Varner does too. He's got, you know, people knock on Varner for his college style that he was boring and boring and boring. The weight cut really was the effect. The guy, Varner's a boring wrestler. He had bonus decisions left and right, and the guy was a junior Chalice Award winner in high school. He pinned people.
I don't call them boring. I simply call them highly skilled. In other words, they wait for their time. They stay in control, and when they get the opportunity, they make the most of it. Now, that means they're not going to take a lot of risks because they have respect for their opponents. So you're not going to see them flying all over the mats at this particular level.
Well, that, and you've also got guys that are this good. They're not going to fall for the cheap tricks that might work on, you know, lower, lesser competition. This is the World Team Trials. We'll take you down to the mat with Joe Miller.
Rovat tries to go low, but Varner blocks it nicely. Minute and 10 seconds remaining. This the second period. Rovat up a weight class from last year. And I think wrestles perhaps maybe better at this weight class. Can fill out his body and use his strength a little bit more. 50 seconds remaining. No score. Rovat gets a quick medical check now. He pointed to his eye, or pointed to his nose, I should say. He has some blood coming out of his right nostril, so he'll take some time on an injury timeout here to get the bleeding stopped. As you get a good look at Jake Varner. Just walked in front of our camera. We get the mat cleaned up. We should be ready to go. Get the blood stopped coming out of the nose of Andy Rovat. Had the opportunity to travel with Rovat to Iran a couple of years ago. Nicer young man you could not ask for. As we got 40 seconds remaining, scoreless. Varner on the attack. They move out near the edge of the mat. Rovat circles back towards the center. Rovat could pick up one. 15 seconds to go here. And Rovat on the attempted turn steps out of bounds. Varner picks up the point. 1-0 with 10 seconds to go. And they're going to question that one. From Rovat's corner. They're going to question that one. And they want to challenge it. So they're going to take a look and see just exactly who stepped up and how. As Jameel Byers earns a spot on the United States World Team at 120 kilos. So they've challenged it, they've checked it, and the point holds. 1 point for Jake Varner as he has a 1-0 lead, 10 seconds to go.
All right, Jameel Byers, another world team. Does it ever get to old hat for you to come here and make these Greco-Roman World Championship teams?
Varner on the run, as is Rovat, and time expires. So Varner wins the period by the score of 2-0. 1 point for the step out of Rovat, and also 1 point that he picked up off the challenge. That second period goes to Jake Varner. 2-0. So we're tied at 1 period apiece. Joe Miller had a word with Jameel Byers, asking him if he's ever gets tired of making world teams, and he said absolutely not. He's looking at 2012, not just 2009. Okay, here we go. Third period underway. Andy Rovat, winner of the first period off a single leg clinch. Jake Varner, winner of the second period. Jake Varner, winner of the first match. Varner wins this period. He wins not only the bout, but a spot on the world team over Andy Rovat.
If Rovat wins this period, we go to a third match for the evening. If Varner wins, he'll go to the World Team Championship.
Sandy Stevens reminding everyone that what we just told you. Rovat wins. We move ahead to the third match between these two talented and skilled 96-kilo wrestlers. As we come down near the 1 minute mark. One minute remaining. Scoreless here, and this is the third period. Varner tries to duck under, cannot get there. Rovat tying upstairs against Jake Varner. And Varner goes down, and on the legs, Rovat goes out of bounds, and Varner picks up the points. Varner jumps out to a 1-0 lead with 34 seconds remaining. Varner aggressive on the edge of the mat. Leads right now by 1-0. 20 seconds left to go. Rovat on the attack. Can he get there with 15 seconds to go?
10 seconds.
Rovat unable to make contact with Varner. 2 seconds, 1 second, and there they go. It's over. Jake Varner, the winner of this second match, as he was the winner of the first match, makes the United States World Team at 96 kilo in freestyle by defeating Andy Rovat 2-0. Jake Varner, your winner. He's on the world team, and Rovat, a highly disappointed young man right now. It was close. Rovat, the winner on the first period, 1-0 off the single leg clinch. Varner, the winner of the second period, 2-0, and then 1-0 in the third period.
Makes you train harder. I saw you going in the building tonight. What do you want to say to everyone here watching? Congratulations, my friend.
Great job by Jake Varner. Championship this year.
Sherry might as well.
60 kilos freestyle. Well, let's go.